Libra, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. What we're going to do is in this video is go over the major transits and aspects of the week and how they impact your natal sun based on the angles that they're making to your natal sun. How do I know where your natal sun is? I don't. But you do. It's in your natal chart. It's located on one of the degrees of Libra. If you don't have this information throughout the video, that's fine. I will try to estimate about what the correlating dates are. But for those of you who want to go grab your natal chart, it won't take long and it's very easy, totally for free. You can just grab a search engine and search free natal chart and it'll pop right up. You'll need your birth date, which you already have, your birth time and your birth location, and all of that can be found on your birth certificate. It'll generate a chart for you and you will know. If your natal sun is somewhere between 0 and 9 degrees Libra, your natal sun falls in the first decan of Libra, so I will refer to you guys as Libra 1. If your natal sun falls between 10 and 19 degrees Libra, your natal sun falls within the second decan of Libra, and so I'll refer to you guys as Libra 2. And then if your natal sun falls between 20 and 29 degrees Libra, I will refer to you guys as Libra 3 because your natal sun falls within the third decan of Libra. Okay, so let's start broad though. We're gonna go real broad with the stuff that's like big stuff that's happening and impacting everybody. I know you can see, guys, I have a sty on my eye. I apologize with how gross it looks. It's not serious, but it does kind of look nasty, FYI. We're going to start really broad with the big stuff that's happening. By the way, in case you didn't read down below or the thumbnail, this is for April 18th to the 24th of 2022. So that's what I wrote it all down. That's what we're reviewing this week, is all the stuff that is going to be impacting you between April 18th to the 24th of the 2023. I apologize for misspeaking. So we're going to start really, really broad. And those big things are the new moon. Hello. Whether somewhere on the globe, depending on where you are located and you are living, the new moon is going to be either late at night on the 19th of April or early in the morning. So it's between 11 and 12 or like 11 and 1. It's kind of happening depending on where in the globe you are. If you are in like the States and Western Europe, you won't really be able to see it that well. But if you are in India, parts of India, Australia, New Zealand, you'll actually see, because there's a super energy that's coming along with the new moon, you'll see that there's a solar eclipse as well. I think it's parts of India that you'll be able to see. It'll go from, you'll get the full show. It'll go from an annular, and I think I'm saying that word right, which is when there's just like that circle around that black dot in the center, which is the moon. But then the moon is going to get bigger, or look like it's getting bigger and bigger, because it's getting closer and closer and taking up more space, and it's going to block out the sun totally. So it'll go to the total eclipse, and then it'll go back to just sort of that ring around. It's going to be really spectacular, and please, I encourage you, email me, send me photos. Definitely wear protective eyewear, but it's going to be a spectacular show. But that makes the new moon really special. Also, what makes the new moon really special, it's the second new moon in Aries. When we have two new moons in the same zodiac sign, it's kind of rare. It happens like once every 3 years or so, something like that. It's called a double moon. So the second new moon is called a double moon. So we're having a double new moon solar eclipse. And what does that mean? Absolute switches, changes, complete and total, almost because it's a solar eclipse, like internal implosion to completely start totally different. Whatever was in the light is getting darked out, and so we're going to have to find something new. This new moon is also, the moon itself is conjunct Jupiter, and it is square to Pluto. So stop. You got a square to Pluto, a conjunction to Jupiter, all in a new moon. That's the second new moon, which is kind of rare in and of itself, in the same zodiac sign, and then we have a solar eclipse on top of it. word can you say, like, this is the explosion that breaks the jail cell? You know what I'm saying? It's like the walls are coming down. What didn't get through last new moon is definitely getting through this new moon, and its position is of particular interest for certain Libras, which we will definitely get into. All week long, Mercury is conjunct Uranus, same as last week. This is odd because Mercury usually moves faster. Mercury has slowed down and will officially go retrograde. That's right. It will officially go retrograde on the 21st, which is the day after this new moon eclipse. So Mercury goes retrograde while conjunct to Uranus, and it'll be Mercury retrograde conjunct Uranus all week long. This will impact certain Libras more than others. It's happening in the zodiac sign of Taurus. This is a definite, like, it's almost like this could be big tech failure. On a global scale, it could just be big tech failure, or some information finally kind of like being upturned or discovered. But it's usually like major disorder or dysfunction that will sort of break the traditions and change the traditions, or change. It could even be a huge breakthrough that changes everything about the way that we used to do things. So this could be big. Just letting you know. There is also the transit of the sun into Taurus. So the sun actually does change signs. It actually changes signs an hour after the new moon. So right after that new moon in Aries, the sun transits into Taurus. So this is a big transit for us too, because we're beginning Taurus season. We're beginning a whole new zodiac sign. We are full on into spring at this point. And the sun in Taurus is all about the up and up. It's all about bringing things to light. And so that's why I think something with that new moon, the things that were shady are going to get exposed. I'm just letting you know. Now, what is impacting Venus? Venus is your ruling dignitary. So it's always important. And she's an inner planet. So she moves really fast. So you're changing every 3.5, 4 weeks or so, something like that. I should know better. Know where Venus is. Always know, because it will definitely impact you. She is in Gemini right now. She will move between 18 and 15 degrees Gemini. She moves pretty quickly. That means she's going to move between the first decan and the second decan of Gemini, which will impact different Libras in a different way, since Gemini is in a natural trine to Libra, depending on what degree you're at, because it could also be square, depending on what side of the arc you're on. So just an FYI, Libra and Venus are not always compatible. It all depends on the angle, and we're going to get into those soon. So Gemini Venus is in Gemini. She moves between 8 and 15 degrees Gemini. By the end of the week, she is going to be sextile to Chiron. So this is seeing beauty in the pain and suffering. Also coming out through something opportunistic or something beautiful after a lot of stress and a lot of pain. So this could really be rewarding. She is quincunx to Pluto, so she's got quite amount of authority and a little bit of ruthlessness. There is a sense of insensitivity, just going for it. That could be frustrating a lot of people or exacerbating a lot of tension. I'm not sure she cares, to be honest with you. It's more because she's in Gemini. She's speaking with authority. She's getting things. She's understanding it, and it's attractive, even if it's poignant. It's poignant. Really being able to attract people with what you say, because you're super poignant this week. During the new moon, so while the new moon is happening on the 19th, 20th, Venus is semi-square to Jupiter and the new moon. So there's a lot of intensity surrounding Venus this week. This could have something to do with financials, especially since it's happening in Taurus and semi-square to Venus. This might not be so great for some people's money. We'll get into whose, but there could be some sort of huge breakthrough and push forward too, because this is just a tremendous amount of energy. Someone is going to break the bank or major financial tech breakthrough or breakdown. Wrote it down, guys. Let's get into the decant to see how it's going to personally impact you this week. So Libra 1, and this is definitely Libras. If you're a September Libra, you're a Libra 1. That's kind of how it's falling. This is a long-term aspect. Your natal suns are trine to Pluto. So there's harmony and balance and restoration for the next year or so for you guys through your transformation, really getting comfortable with the transformation around us and who you're becoming. Also a long-term aspect is Saturn. Saturn, your natal suns are quincunx to Saturn. This is sort of disruptive when it comes to authority, when it comes to contracts, when it comes to the way we've always done things, or work, corporate world, disrupting the markets, this is for the next year. So FYI, this is a sense of maybe clashing with authority figures, or just kind of like assuming more authority, which is why you're probably clashing with authority figures. And your natal suns are in direct opposition to, or not direct opposition, but if you're born on the cusp of Scorpio and Libra, your natal suns are in opposition to Neptune. And so what does that mean? It could be very distracting, and it's easy to sell you tonic water as medicine. So it's more like you're more likely to get wrapped up in fantasy and believe it just because it's nice to hear. This is a sense of definitely check twice and check references, and do that for the next couple of years. FYI. That's Libra 1s. Libra 2s. Here we go. Your natal suns, kind of long term, have been in opposition to Chiron. So this is a sense of really questioning your self-worth. Like, am I worth anything? Am I pretty enough? Am I good enough? Do I belong here? Finding different people questioning your value systems, or maybe even threats to your personal value. This kind of suffering is just something that you will eventually grow from. You got to find faith in. It's been going on for a while, so I don't think anything is particularly exacerbating it this week. You do have a beautiful trine to Venus, which is your ruling dignitary, just for this week. This is a very harmonious energy. It's just very loving and giving, and a sense of tranquility and optimism for you. Also, it's a great time to get your hair did. It's a great time to just look in the mirror and actually like who you are, and not really want to change things so much as find more beauty in the world than you have maybe last week or maybe next week. This is just harmonizing your look, harmonizing how you feel, harmonizing how you value yourself, or finding that your romantic relationships are going really well, or even balancing out those finances. Something could happen that helps you to balance out those finances. So this new moon could work out really, really well for you. Your natal suns are square to Mars, which means impetuousness, impulsivity, pop-offishness, a lot of energy though. So you will definitely have a lot of energy to like feeling good, maybe feeling like your stamina is up, but also a sense of watch your impulsivity. Use this energy to sort of focus on the things that are important to you. Mars is in Cancer, so it's like extra sensitive. You could be extra sensitive and extra defensive about your value and self-worth, and this could actually exacerbate the pressure that Chiron's already putting on your natal sun. You might feel more defensive than usual. That's for this week. And then you guys are quincunx to the Mercury retrograde conjunction to Uranus. So that's going to bug you, especially for the next week and a half. And Mercury is just going into retrograde now, so it's going to be a little extra tough and frustrating on you guys, and maybe a little extra surprising. Definitely expect those tech issues. There's not much that you can do about it. It's just kind of going to get in your way and cause a lot of bumps in the road. Just FYI, this Mercury retrograde is going to be a little extra intense for you guys. All right, now we head to Libra, at least for the first week and a half, like from now into next week. It'll start to dissipate as Mercury finally retrogrades all the way back into the first decan, but you guys will definitely be feeling it. Pluto, you ready? Libra 3s. Your natal sun's long-term aspect are square to Pluto. We talk about this kind of every week. I wonder if I should... Well, yes, because Pluto is very active this week. We should definitely talk about it. Your natal suns are square to Pluto. Pluto is also square the new moon. Your natal suns are in opposition to the new moon, solar eclipse, extreme changes, breakthroughs for you. Yeah, Libra 3s. And this is, if say your natal sun is between, it's October, maybe October 11th or 12th through like the 21st, that's Libra 3, definitely Scorpio cusp, Libra 3. This solar eclipse is going to bring about a real sense of power and a real sense of connection to your possibilities and your potential. There could be just surprising breakthroughs or changes for you, finding your inner strength because you have to and you're not given much choice. Your natal suns are also in opposition to Jupiter all week long, and so there is also a sense of wanting to grow or expand really quickly, really fast, maybe a little bit too fast, because your natal suns all week long are in opposition to the current sun that is also conjunct the North Node. So there's a lot of sense of breakthroughs and moving forward, or being so formidable, turning that corner, this sense of you'll kind of get a real glimpse as to where your future is headed, and kind of be a powerhouse to getting there. It's just it could be it's going to be intense. That's all I can really say, is it's going to be extreme and it's going to be intense. Your natal suns are also, if you are a Scorpio cusp, your natal suns are conjunct to the South Node, which means you do have a firm grip on where you are, who you are, and fulfilling the rest of your life cycle with your own talents and skills. So really finding yourself and finding your future. So you let me know in the comments below. I think this is going to be a huge week for you guys, especially because of your position to the new moon. But you Libra 2s, your position to Mercury retrograde can be quite frustrating. Leave the comments below. I'd love to know like how this is actually impacting you guys. Even if I can't respond back, I will definitely I'll definitely enjoy reading them. And then do subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. We're trying to grow over here. I'd like to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month, and so let's see if we can get there, shall we? Definitely come over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot and check out your full your week ahead tarot card reading. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.